All right, this is going to be a long one. I don't expect very many people will watch this, but there's something that's been on my mind, and I just kind of want to get it out for posterity, I suppose. So I was born and raised Mormon, LDS, and when I turned 19, I decided to go to, start college instead of to go on a mission like everybody else. But then I had an experience, and this all. I'm no longer Mormon, and let me explain this whole thing. So, uh, I had a friend from New York. He was involved in a lot of gang activity. He moved out here to find his real dad. His dad abandoned him when he was a kid. So he was living with me and my family for, man, a few years. So same time frame, right? So we're just hanging out. I was a total Jack Mormon. I would go to church and go to the singles ward, but I would drink and get high and shit. And one day, these motherfucking missionaries show up and start teaching him. So I would sit in on the conversations, just to sit in. And they like, how Mormon missionaries are, dude. They just like push shit on you. Like, why don't you pray about it right now? Blah blah blah. So they finished all the lessons with him, and they're like, so will you commit to be baptized? And he's like, nah, man, fuck no. I don't know, dude. No. I'm like, oh, just pray about it then. What? Right now, just get on your knees and pray about it right now. So, it being there as an observer, it was so like, what's the word? Manipulative. So he gives in to them, and he gets on his knees, and the most sarcastic prayer I have ever heard in my life, dude, is like literally, yo, God, this is lucky. Like, yo, I was just wondering if you want me to get baptized or whatever. And then like, but then he bursts out into tears, and so we'll get to this, okay? A lot of people would say, oh, like he obviously felt the spirit, blah 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 blah. And so like that's proof right there. But he was also in a really fucked up place. So he decides to get baptized, and I mean, he like the most sarcastic prayer you could ever imagine, but then he just like breaks down bawling. So that convinced him. And it convinced me to go on a mission several years late. Like I was getting close to the cutoff point. So I start preparing to go on a mission, and I go through the Mormon temple and take out my, they have this whole proper way of saying it, take out my endowments or whatever. And when you go through the whole temple ceremony, okay, there's so much psychology to it. Like you have the entire buildup of everybody telling you that the temple is the most wonderful place, and that people see spirits and have visitations from angels in there and shit like that. So that's like, for 20 years of your life, this is what you're told as you're growing up. So you have these really high expectations, and psychologically, that's going to tie in to, I mean, that's going to have a dramatic effect on how you experience actually going through the temple. So my first time going through, and they start doing the washing and anointings, and they make you get naked, and they like, you know, touch you and shit. I was this close. Oh my God, I was so fucking close to just turning around and walking out. No. That's not when it was in the, when they make you get all dressed up and you know, the little green hat and the apron and stuff, and you're doing the whole ceremony in whatever room that the guard in. I can't remember. I don't even fucking care. But they get you all dressed up like weird culty sort of stuff, you know? And it just got way too weird for me. So even though my parents were there and you know, I was like so close to just turning around and walking the fuck out, dude. It was too weird for me. But here's the thing. I didn't. And I finished the ceremony. I did all the tokens to get into the celestial kingdom and all that shit. And I go through the veil and I go to the celestial room and I'm sitting there and I have this feeling that I've never had before, ever. It's like this total, like, enlightenment, like everything is fluid and moving, and it's just this, like, the most peaceful, insanely spiritual sensation I've ever had. You may be asking, so why did you leave the church? I will get to that, because it turns out, well, yeah, I just get straight to it, because I think that about covers it to this point, right? So I go on my mission, I do the whole thing. In my first area, I went to the Philippines. My very first area, and this is something that haunts me to this day, dude. My very first area in the Philippines, we taught an entire village in the, Bukidnon, like mountain people, right? It took us hours. Yeah, hours every fucking day to hike up to this little village and then come back down. So again, you know, there's that like tension of hard work and expected reward. So we baptized this entire, like, I can't remember, like 150 people or something. And I just have to say, today, I feel terrible about that. Now knowing what the church is, now knowing the psychology behind it, now knowing the psychology behind spiritual experiences and how it all, like, actually works, and the experiences I have had since that have completely disproven anything that I thought I was experiencing at the time. I feel so fucking terrible about leading so many people astray. They're just fucking natives, dude. You know, here we're rolling in with our newfangled fucking ideologies and like manipulating them into getting baptized into this cult. So after I get back from my mission, there's a lot of steps that led to this, but it was pretty fast. I became addicted to just about everything on the map, you know, coke, heroin, fucking meth, the whole spectrum, dude. I was getting fucked up on everything. And so this one night, I'm thinking, well, if this is all true, you know, like God would be there to help me get out of this hole. So I go to my friend. This is such a dumb story. So I go to my friend's house. Hardcore Mormon, dude. Hardcore fucking Mormon. And I ask him for a blessing. And if you know anything about Mormonism, blessings. They anoint your head with an oil that's been blessed, and they put their hands on your head, and they give you they say a prayer basically to bless you. This was a straw that broke the camel's back. This was the thing that like just made me go, nope, this is not for me, dude. So he anoints my head. He put his hands on my head. He starts giving me a blessing, and it's almost embarrassing. Not embarrassing for me, for him. Like when I tell this story, I feel so embarrassed for him. It was so fucking weird, dude. So he's giving me a blessing, and he starts standing on his tippy toes. And then instead of like speaking as if he was somebody praying to God, he starts talking like he's channeling God, right? And I can't remember everything he said. In fact, I don't remember anything he said. What I do remember is he starts tipping on his tiptoes, and his hands fall away from my head, and I hear like weird noises, so I turn around, and he's literally in like a like hanging on the cross pose, with both arms out like this, and he's on his tippy toes, and he's got his head back, and he's going, dude, and then he and then he drops to his knees and like collapses on the floor and starts shaking, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, so I go and get a glass of water, and did you want some water, bro? Like, are you okay? And I hand him this glass of water, and he pushes it away, and he goes, no, my son, you drink. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. Nope. This is such obvious fucking bullshit. So I start doing a lot of research into the Mormon religion, Turns out Joseph Smith was just a fucking, like, God tier fucking con man, right? Just the like, fucking pedophile, right? He told families that if they didn't let him sleep with their 14-year-old daughters, that an angel with a flaming sword would come down and kill the whole family. Like, this is documented. The Kinderhook plates. Oh, dude, if you want to read some shit that's gonna make you laugh, the Kinderhook plates are fucking hilarious, dude. Like, it just exposes his entire bullshittery, right? These brothers, friends, I can't remember. They took some lead plates. They banged out some lead plates because they're like, well, if he's claiming to be translating these golden plates, if we just make up some fucking plates and hide them and tell him that we found them, and he translates them, we know he's a fucking fraud. So they bang out these lead plates and scratch these like nonsense symbols into them. Oh my god! And the hypocephalus, dude, it was complete. Okay, just go look it up. It's fucking hilarious. They run to him. They're like, Joseph, we were digging holes in my dad's farm, and we found these plates, and we heard you could translate them. And he sits down and translates this whole fight. This whole thing about him, and it's just like absolute bullshit, dude. It's just scribbles and circles and squares and shit throughout the whole thing, and he claims to have been able to translate the whole thing. It's the same level of embarrassing for him as my friend's whole fucking, no, my son, you drink thing. Oh my god, it was so dumb. So that's that. But then I kept wondering, like, well, what about the experience in the celestial room? Like, what about all these little things? How do you explain all of that shit? So I figured if there was a way to find any semblance of truth in this fucking crazy world, it would be through meditation. It would be the Buddhist way, the like the Hindu mystic way. So I started getting into meditation, like deep, dude. I was meditating like, I don't know, 5 hours a day, like multiple times a day. And it took me 5 years to get to the point where I could, quote unquote, astral project for just like 1 or 2 times a week. I was practicing morning, I would go to work, I would practice after work for like hours. And finally, I got to the point where I was having like, you know, get out of your body experiences, or I don't know, directly into a lucid dream, whatever it was. But as this was happening, I found that during my sitting meditations, I could evoke like point for point the exact same sensation I was having in the celestial room when I was Mormon. And so as I kept doing it, it was easier and easier to evoke that qualia, that experience, that sensation. So it dawned on me, like it got to the point to where I could just like turn it on and off like a fucking switch, right? So, well, if that's the spirit, right? If that's the spirit, you know, testifying truth to you, why can't I just fucking turn it on and off like a switch now? That did not follow for me. So, what were the 5 things I wanted to talk about? Because they all make sense in order. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So that's that. That's the, I guess, why I left Mormonism and like the logical backing behind it. So then I moved to California with my cousin and a bunch of friends, and we started selling pest control for Dewey Pest Control out in Calabasas. And I've had a weird fucking life. So I meet this girl who turns out to be the daughter of the Prime Minister of Tajikistan, like, right, like, just where was it? South westy of Russian provinces. And at that time, Tajikistan was being run by the Russian mafia, like Moscow. So this isn't really like important, it's just kind of funny. So her father had a falling out with a bunch of the politicians, if you want to call them that. They're more mob bosses in Moscow, and their whole family got exiled. So they moved to California to hide. So technically you could say I dated a Russian princess and whatever. Anyway, so she breaks my heart, right? And so I start moving back up to Utah. But at that time, both my brother and sister had moved down to hang out with me in California. They're like, our older brother's there, let's go just fucking party. So they all moved out. And like I just couldn't be there anymore, dude. You know, when you're young and dumb and lovesick and you get your heart broken, you just want to like get away. So we start driving all the way back up to Utah, like taking I-15 through Nevada, and it's like 2:30 in the morning, and me and my brother both just have to take a piss. We're in my car, my little sister's in her car, she's following us. So we pull over to take a piss, and we're just sitting there at the side of the road, leaking, and I look down I-15, and there's like a just a little light, and I thought it was a street lamp, and I remember thinking how weird it is for a street lamp to be on I-15 in the middle of the Nevada desert. and then it starts like moving towards us. And so my next thought was, oh, it's a motorcycle or a Popeye or something. And as it gets closer and closer, it just like turns out to be a fucking 3 or 4 foot diameter orb that just silently comes right above us as we're both sitting on the side of I-15 taking a leak. Like, what? So it hangs about 30 feet directly above both of us. My sister's in her car. Me and my brother are at the side of the road, and we're just looking up at this thing, just like doing our thing, right? And I don't know how to explain it, man. It was like an extra large beach ball, semi-translucent, very soft orange glow. Like the whole thing was like glowing like a very dim orange glow. And so it hangs above us, directly above us. Like it's like just watching us piss. I don't even know, dude. Fucking creepy aliens or whatever. And then all of a sudden it's just a streak that just disappears behind the Nevada mountains, like fraction of a second. Like it was gone. It was just went and it was gone. And if I didn't have my brother and my sister with me, I would think I dreamed it up. But that's the second thing I know for sure. Okay, so we're following a bit of a logical progression here. The first thing I know for sure is that spiritual experiences can be fabricated and manipulated and turned on and off if you gain sufficient control over your own mind. So anybody that... Yep, hold on. Sorry, my daughter was looking for something. Okay, what was I just saying? The first thing that I wanted to lay out was that spiritual experiences can be fabricated and or what's a like faked, or what's a good word for this? Like counterfeit. It can be they can be counterfeited, and so they're just it's just qualia, right? It's just like shit that we psychologically talk ourselves into experiencing. So if I can turn what I came to know as feeling the spirit, if I can turn that on and off like it's like a fucking toy, you know, like a light switch, then who's to say that if there are other entities out there that they can't do that to you too, you know, that they can't just like turn shit on and off and pretend to be God and make you think this and that, blah, 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 blah. And if you really want to dig into that one, go take a dose of DMT. That'll fucking shred your worldview. All right, so first thing is spiritual experiences. They're just that, dude. It's just flipping a switch. You just have to know how to do it. Second thing is, I know for certain that something is going on in the sky, right? 100%. I saw it, my brother saw it, my sister saw it, and it happened while we were taking a leak on the side of the road on I-15 in the middle of the Nevada desert at like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was so fucking stupid. All right, so I'm building a case here, okay? And you don't have to believe me. I don't give a fuck. This is more for like me just like getting this out. So, okay, what was hold on a second. Okay, third experience. I was well experienced and with lucid dreaming, meditation, astral projection. Like we're talking about, you know, 6th or 7th year into being super into meditating and inducing crazy experiences. So I have an exit, and the first, and here's another weird thing. The first I don't know, 30 or 40 times I tried to get an exit, I would come out of my body but get pinned to my body by my belly button, specifically by my belly button. And so like the first 30 40 experiences were me just trying to like dislodge myself from my own body, because I was like just stapled to my body by my belly button. Like if it was just a lucid dream, and if it was just psychological, you know, just like you're just like going into another state, why would I get pinned to my own body by my belly button? Anyway, just I want to just enunciate that real quick. Okay, so this one time I'm meditating, I'm doing my laying meditation, and I have an exit, and I just catapult through the cosmos. Like it was, I had never had this happen before. It was like I just like light speed, right? Like through the fucking cosmos, and I end up in this massive building, like for beings that are like 50 feet tall, like huge. The architecture was like nothing I had ever seen before. There were no doors on any of the rooms. And I just started exploring this place. And I'm going down this hallway, and I take a left into one of these rooms, and there's this fucking football field long table, massive stone table with just different entities, just like I don't know, 50 of them maybe, and they're all sitting at this table like they're having a meeting. And the second I walk in there, or float in there, they all stop, turn, and look at me. And the second they look at me, I snap right back to my body. But here's the thing. So if you have ever had lucid dreams or the experience of astral projecting, you know that like once you're back in your body, that's it. It's over. You open your eyes, everything's the way it is. There's no residual like dreamy shit going on, right? It's just like you're just back to consciousness, full awareness, and it's over. Not this time. This time I snap back to my body. I'm fully awake and aware, right? I open my eyes, I'm in my bed, I'm in my room, and one of the beings that was sitting at that table had followed me back and was standing over me, looking down at me. And the only way I can describe it, I don't know. It's like being in the presence of something so vastly more intelligent and ancient and like I can't even describe the feeling, but he was wearing this suit, and the only way I think I know how to describe it is that it was like a spiritually, technologically advanced suit. And when I looked, it kind of looked like a motorcycle, like motorcycle leathers, right, with a motorcycle helmet, but not like that's the closest thing I could describe, or without going into stupid amounts of detail. So I look up at it, and it's looking down at me, and it's got this like this shiny visor helmet thing, and it's designed. The only way to describe this is that it's designed in a way to reflect back, like, to whatever being it's communicating with or encountering, reflect back to that being the gradation of difference between intellect and power. So when I looked in his visor, I could see in the reflection how it saw me. And it was so demeaning, like so absolute, like I don't know how to fucking describe it, dude. It was just like I would like not even an ant, not even a fucking amoeba. Like to it, I was literally just a fucking nothing. Like just an I don't know. But that was weird because I was fully awake. I had fully snapped back, right? I was in my room, I was in my bed, but there was this thing standing over me, and it was the most terrifying like difference in intellect and power and intelligence that I have ever experienced. It was so it just made me feel stupid to be a human. It just made me feel like the dumbest fucking creature ever in existence. It was the craziest experience, man. So explain to me why every other experience of having a lucid dream or an astral projection or whatever you want to call it, when it's over, it's over. You snap back and it's fucking over. Every other time I've had that experience, it's just over. That's it. You get up, you go to the kitchen, grab a glass of water. This one time, it was over, but yet there was a being in my room, just like both letting me know that I was absolutely nothing to it, and at the same time, maybe almost curious as to how this nothing entity ended up in some fucking cosmic meeting room or whatever. I don't even know, dude. But it was so just, man, I felt dumb after that encounter. Like I can't even describe how weird that was. Okay, so that's that one. All right. So take it for what it's worth, right? But if I don't know. Okay. Next. In my earlier years of trying to exit my body, right? I had read that some people suggest doing something called the rope method, where you imagine a rope, like you lay down, you start meditating, you imagine a rope dangling down through your belly button, and you imagine that you're climbing the rope, right? And if you do it for like 15 or 20 minutes, it actually starts to feel like you're grabbing a rope, and it actually starts to feel like you're pulling yourself out of your body. This is a creepy one, dude. This one scared the shit out of me. I didn't meditate for fucking a couple weeks after this one. So, because remember, man, it took me like 5 years just to get to the point to where I could have a quote unquote exit once or twice a week, man, practicing twice a day, every day, sometimes 3 times a day. I would practice at work in the lunch, like in an empty office in the back of the building. Like I was so determined to have this experience. I was nonstop practicing, and it took me 5 years to get to the point where I could exit 1, 2, 3 times a week. It's ridiculous. And then I read stories about people that are like, oh yeah, like my first time I popped right out. I'm like, well, fuck you, dude. So it's during an earlier time, you know, before I had an actual lucid dream or an exit. And I'm imagining this rope, and I'm, you know, just doing the laying down, meditating, imagining that I'm climbing this rope with my imaginary hands, you know. And Robert Bruce wrote this book where he said when you get to the point to where you're about to exit, there's like a psychological barrier where it tries to like terrify you back into not exiting. So you'll have experiences like the old hag experience, right? Or a demon sitting on your chest or something like that. And his take on it was that these experiences are there to keep you locked into your body, because it's not a natural state to be dissociated from your body. That's his take on it. So keep that in mind. So I'm climbing this rope and as soon as the rope becomes actually palpable, like I can feel my pretend hands grabbing an actual rope and I'm climbing up it. As soon as that happens, I feel like these big sausage fingers just kind of like dangling down from this rope as I'm climbing it, and like hitting the side of my hand, like dunk, 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 dunk. And so I remember that Robert Bruce said that it's not really a thing, it's just your mind is just trying to protect you from having the experience of being separated from your body. So I'm like, okay, he said in his books, he's like, just push through it, just keep going and you'll get there. Don't, by the way, fucking terrible advice. So I keep climbing, and it keeps happening more and more frequently, and like these just big fucking sausage fingers are just like dunk, 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 dunk against my hand. And then it gets more and more frequent, and then these like disembodied hands start crawling down my arms and the rope and my hands, and crawling down my body and down the rope. So pretty terrifying sensation to feel, right? Like but like I just kept reminding myself that Robert Bruce said to just push through it because it's just a hallucination. So I just keep going, dude. As terrifying and creepy as this experience is, I just keep climbing this imaginary rope. And these fucking sausage fingered hands crawl down to where in Chinese medicine it would be called your lower dantian, right? Like your lower energy center, your sexual energy center, right? And they start digging into my body, like I don't know how else to explain it. Digging into my body and gripping what bladderish area, I guess, and gripping what I can only imagine is an energy center, and just squeezing it, and like hundreds of them just like flooded me and just went down there and just started squeezing this thing. And at that point I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. So I stopped meditating, okay? And this is the thing. Again, completely back to full awareness, completely like back to reality, right? There's no residual anything except that my, like right here, right? This area was throbbing with pain to the point where I could barely walk. I had to go to my refrigerator and get a bag of ice and hold it on my crotch for like an hour before I could actually start walking again. So that's weird, right? So, man, I don't know. So spiritual experiences can be fabricated and counterfeited. B, for me at least, I know that there's something going on in the skies. I saw it with my own fucking eyes 30 feet away, and my brother and my sister can verify that for me. So, like, for sure I know that's happening. For sure I know counterfeit spiritual experiences are possible, right? Which means that, like, anything can pretend to be God or pretend to, like, dictate to you that something is 100% true through the spirit, right? And I also know, I'm pretty sure there are entities and things that are happening that we are not aware of, because why else would my lower abdomen area, why else would an imaginary experience have such an impact on, like, it hurt right? It fucking hurt. I couldn't walk. I had to get ice from my refrigerator and hold it in my crotch. That's a few steps beyond just some imaginary experience. At least for me, right? Like, that's pretty crazy, man. So let's see. There are 5 things. We did that. We did that. What was the last one? Oh, this we had a conversation yesterday that reminded me of this. So, this house, we've had some weird shit happen in here, man. And it was my daughter that was like, that sounds like a mimic. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is a mimic, dude? And she had to explain the whole thing to me. So there have been a number of these experiences that we've had here. And this is like outside the realm of explainable, you know? It's just outside of the realm of explainable. I was in my office just working, and when my wife comes home, I can hear the front door open, I can hear it close, I can hear her walk across the living room floor, and every time she comes home, I say, hey babe, like, welcome home, you know? And so I hear the front door open, I hear it close, I hear her boots walking across the living room floor, and I go, hey babe, but no response. So I walk out to see what's going on. Maybe she's got her headphones in or something, right? And there's nobody there, like anywhere. Like, I look outside, nobody's anywhere. My wife didn't come home for like another couple hours, dude. I thought it was weird that she had come from home early. And then, like a couple weeks later, my daughter has her friend over, and he's staying in we have an empty room downstairs, and he's staying in that room. And he hears her, so he hears my daughter calling his name. And she had already been asleep. Like, so, man, there's a list of them. I can't think of all of them right now, but there have been several, like enough for it to be weird, not just like some weird thing that happened, you know, like it's a regular occurrence in our house. The only one that hasn't experienced something like that is my wife, and that's because she's at the shop all day. So my daughter's had multiple experiences. I've had multiple experiences. Oh, so one day I was in my office, and my daughter goes, hey Dad, I'm going for a walk. I'll be back in a little while. I'm like, okay, be safe. The front door opens, it closes, and then I realized she didn't tell me where she was going. So I text her. I'm like, where'd you say we were going? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm downstairs. Like, legit, she was downstairs. She had no idea what I was fucking talking about. Like, how do you explain that? Either I am completely losing my fucking mind, but we both would have to be. And her friend that stayed the night, right? Come on, dude. So I have become convinced. First of all, I know there's something going on in the skies, 100%. There's no way something can move around the way we saw it moving around at the speeds and like instantaneous velocity, right? Completely silent, no air displacement. Like, if you had something that big and it went from directly over your head to over the mountains in a fucking fraction of a second, there would be air displacement issues and there would be sonic booms. There was nothing. It was completely silent. So as skeptical of a person as I am, and as much as if somebody tells me something, I put them through the ringer, dude. I do not take anything at face value, because I know how stupid people can be. And there, you know, there's always the book sort of thing, right? But my personal experiences so far have told me that there is weird shit going on in this world. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. I don't know if there's actually a spiritual reality or if it's like some sort of, quantum interconnected network between all minds on Earth. You still die when you die. It's just a network between sentient entities. I don't know. There could be 1,000 different ways to describe things. There are completely corporeal ways to describe psychic phenomena. TK, right? PK, all that shit. You could literally come up with ways for that stuff to be a reality without having to get woo-woo and getting super spiritual at everything. But then again, who fucking knows, dude? What I know is what I have experienced. And I just wanted to kind of lay that all out. I've never really delivered all of that before. It's just, I don't know, man. There's something going on. It could be symptoms of an immensely complex simulation, right? Or this could be just like not even kind of what reality is. This could be a shell. This could be the nothingness. When I was younger, the first time I took acid, I remember looking around and realizing that this was all just a set, like a play, right? Like on stage, like if you went over and pushed the tree, it would just like fall over to the back of the stage, sort of thing. And I think it might be something like that. I don't know if that specifically indicates that there's an afterlife, but I think we are so dissociated from what reality really is that shit like mimics, shit like entities visiting you in your room and like letting you know that you are nothing to them, shit like disembodied hands grabbing your energy center and squeezing it till you are physically incapacitated for the next hour of your life, right? Shit like seeing ships just do physically impossible shit in the sky. I don't know, dude. And without more data, it's fucking impossible to know. But what I do know is what I've experienced, and I'm not going to jump to any conclusions because that's not what you should do, right? That's not the scientific method. That's not how you get to the truth. That's how you get suckered into fucking cults and how you end up with fucking, political leaders that are complete pieces of shit, scammy motherfuckers, right? You have to look at the data. You have to gather all the data you can get. You have to fucking analyze it logically. You have to be very careful and pragmatic about how you approach these things. But to deny the fact that these things exist, that's just as fucking dumb as just full bore believing what anybody says. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to really say. I just wanted to kind of get that. I don't care if anybody watches this. I really fucking don't. But I just wanted to get all those thoughts out in a row real quick for posterity or whatever. Bye.